Hello, this is Kade, and this is going to be a quick but as usual slightly rumbly video on the Aopoa Nox in comparison of course to the Drake Interplanetary Dragonfly. The former we're just going to call the Nox and the other we're just going to call the Dragonfly, because otherwise we're going to be here forever speaking out those names. So for starters, a lot of people of course are putting these two space bikes in one basket. Space bikes should be the same, put them in that basket and compare them one to one. I don't. I mean, comparing the Nox to the Dragonfly is comparing apples to oranges. On one hand we have a competition racing machine / toy for the rich people. On the other hand we have the working man's utilitarian machine that he uses to do his work or her work or whatever else it may be. So that's already for starters like, okay, I'm just not going to say that these two are the same machines. They perform the same idea like their space bikes, and they both got 2 size 1 weapons, and that's where the comparison totally ends. However, we're still going to compare them a little bit because it's the best frame of reference that we got for the Nox right now. So starting off with the Nox, what we're having is a absolutely elegant machine. I mean, to me personally, it looks beautiful. And once I saw the more renders of it and how it was working in game, I was like, yeah, I want one of these, and I got my hands on one. For me, I mean, really, I'm not gonna go into racing, I think, but it's a fun toy to have. Park it next to the X85 on the jump. I'm a happy camper. On the other end, of course, we have the Dragonfly, which is your utilitarian machine. Very functional. I can take a passenger, I can take a few bits of cargo, and I can really use that in a productive way outside of racing. So with a Nox, if you want to make money, you're probably going to go racing. If you want to make money with a Dragonfly, it's good for a lot of things. Just being able to carry somebody around and getting a bit of cargo is incredibly useful. Whether you're on a planet side or maybe you want to salvage a wreck, you're not going around with a giant reclaimer, you're just trying to sneak into wrecks and get some valuables. You don't want to fly your larger ship too close to a wreck, because it's going to hit debris and potentially cause damage to your ship. So what you're doing, you're parking a bit further away, take the Dragonfly out, fly it in close, get off it, get inside, grab what you want, put it in the baskets, get the hell out of there again. If you're going to do that in a Nox, you're going to fly there, you're going to grab the stuff, you go back to the Nox and you're like, oh shoot. And you're going to drop it and you're going to fly back with your empty hands, because you can't store anything on the Nox. So that's really already very distinct in like the usage is going to be. Now a lot of people of course are like, okay, but can we still consider the Dragonfly to be a racing machine? Can we have races between the Nox and the Dragonflies? And I say again, no. The Nox is really designed to operate on smooth surfaces. Just either an artificial smooth surface or just something like a desert floor. Not a rocky one, just smooth sand or maybe lakes and things like that. While the Dragonfly, on the other hand, because of the design alone, because the Nox is a very narrow machine, the Dragonfly is a lot more wide. And you can see just the thrusters that are facing downwards, giving it that lift, are away from the center of gravity. It just gives it a lot better handling when the terrain gets rough. So the Dragonfly will be much better to cope with rough terrain and keep a fairly decent momentum going. However, when it goes to a flat terrain surface, the Nox will just take it out and sail past it, no problem. Bob's your uncle. So, racing machine, utilitarian machine. You can't really compare the two. I mean, what the Drake Dragonfly is going to be good at, the Nox is going to be bad at, and vice versa. So that's my first bit of advice there. Probably the most important thing, don't compare the two. Because really, if you have a Dragonfly, you should not be thinking like, I don't need a Nox. And if you have a Nox, you should not be thinking, I don't need a Dragonfly. You always need to be thinking about what you're going to do within the universe. Me personally, I'm part of a private military corporation, so we're just going to be doing a lot of fighting and things like that. And I don't really need the Dragonfly for the roles that I'm going to fulfill, so I don't have one. So do I need a Nox tank for the roles I'm going to fulfill? No, but I think it looks cool, as I said, and I'm going to park it on an 890 jump and just have it as a toy. So I choose to have one, and I actually don't need either of them, but one of them I like, so I get it, and the other one I don't like, so I don't have it. But maybe you're a racer, you're going to go around, but sometimes you just, you need to fund your racing habit. You're not in the top teams, top leagues, so you don't make a lot of money, so you make some business on the sidelines by salvaging. Getting a Dragonfly would be a very good idea. You're already very good at riding these kind of bikes. Of course, control-wise, a lot of it will translate, so you're fairly good, so you can take a bit more risk, maybe go into hostile territory for some salvaging, anything to keep the dream going of becoming the best racer in the universe. So, in that case, having both of them would be necessary. So that's really my overview of these two machines. There's not so much to go on about. I mean, I could try and talk about this for 20 minutes, already at 6 minutes, which is already quite long, I think, for a pair of space bikes. So I'm gonna cut it off here. Thank you so much for watching all. I'll be back around next time, and as always, if you got any feedback, leave it down below for me. We're trying to improve, and I'm currently on the new rig, so I've got to reset all the settings, so if anything sounds off, looks off, just let me know. I'll see you next time.